The Woodland Mansion is an epic and dangerous endgame structure, home to the powerful Totem of Undying. Or at least it's intended to be. As more updates have come out in the years since they were added, these Minecraft structures have been left behind. I'm going to revisit these megastructures, redesigning them from scratch to feature new mechanics, new rewards, and a new ominous event to make your journey to find the elusive evokers well worth it. Let's start by taking a look at how current Woodland Mansions generate to figure out what it is that I want to keep and what should be changed. This is a pretty typical Woodland Mansion. It happens to have generated pretty near this river, but fortunately was all the way on the terrain. This isn't always guaranteed just because they are so massive, so that's something that we'll want to keep in mind when designing our own. Woodland Mansions are 3 floors, and I'm going to actually split these apart real quick so that we can more easily take a look at what each floor has to offer. So I've separated each floor as well as the roof on the very top floor so that we can take a look at the floor plan, but we'll also be taking a look at the relationship between each of these as well as the exterior. Starting with the first floor, we have the entrance into the mansion, which goes directly into this nice little foyer that has the staircase up to the second floor. These are obviously both things that we're going to want to keep for our Woodland Mansion, but I do want to space these out a little bit. I don't want the staircase to be right in front of the entrance. Ideally, I want you to have to go and search the first floor in order to find it. But that gives us our first goal, an entrance and stairs. Most of the Woodland Mansion is composed of these carpeted hallways that snake between various rooms of several different sizes. But obviously, since the staircase is in front of the entrance, especially for the first floor, there isn't a whole lot of reason to explore. There are some chests that have some pretty relatively basic loot. These can include enchanted golden apples, but obviously also include just kind of general stuff that the player is probably already going to have in pretty good supply since this is an endgame structure. Even these rooms that have tons and tons of chests are completely empty of any real loot. So that brings me to my second goal. I want to reward exploration. There should be enough loot to justify exploring, not just to seek the staircase, but also to check out all the individual rooms and see what it has to offer. Let's go ahead and move on to the second floor. And as we rise, take a look at the layout of the first floor. We have this sort of front hallway here. The left bend goes over to this kind of crossing area where we've got the pillars in the middle, and then this whole right side is an entire hallway. If we go up to the second floor, we're going to see that it's the exact same layout up here. We have the addition of the staircase that goes up to the third floor, but this is functionally just a room. The actual layout of the second floor, at least as far as the hallways are concerned, is identical to the first. And this is part of our next goal. I want each floor to feel different. That's not going to mean just changing the layout for each floor, but also changing the mechanics of them. Now, it is worth noting that the rooms are different. This one has a 2 wide, a 1 wide, and a 2 wide. But if we go down to the first floor, we have instead a 1 wide, 2 wide, 2 wide. So the pattern can be different. The rooms can be different configurations, but where the rooms are relative to the hallways is the same. The second floor does have these windows going for it, which is pretty cool. A lot more natural light comes into the second floor rooms, and that's not the case for the first floor. As you can see, there are no windows down there, and that's something I think I'll keep in my mansion. Now, when it comes to the third floor, this is where the most important changes are going to need to come in. The third floor is meant to be the ultimate challenge. Evokers spawn more commonly up here, there are plenty of other mobs, and even though there are windows up here like the second floor, it's still generally going to be dark enough for naturally spawning hostile mobs as well. However, the evokers, of course, drop Totems of Undying, which is pretty much the entire reason you're going to come here. After all, it's not for the loot that's in the chests in any of the rooms, for those that have them. The problem with evokers is that they aren't renewable, because they, along with the Vindicators, spawn as part of the structure rather than naturally spawning here like in nether fortresses or pillager outposts. There isn't any renewable way to get Totems of Undying from mansions, and as such, there's no reason to come back to a mansion after conquering it. It is not really replayable at all. And so that's something that I want to implement for my Woodland Mansion. It's not necessarily that anything is broken or wrong with this Woodland Mansion, but it isn't the kind of gameplay that I'm interested in creating. Now, when you're talking Illagers and you want something that's replayable, it's very easy to come to the conclusion that we should implement an ominous event for this mansion. If you enter this mansion with bad omen, or you find an ominous bottle inside the mansion's loot and decide to drink it, then the mansion should become harder and the rewards should become greater. This is just going to add even more reason to come back to the same Woodland Mansion and attempt to beat it again to get more challenge and more rewards. So now I have all my goals for what I want to achieve with this mansion, so let's get to work. So things got a little bit out of hand. I'm not super sure if this is going to work the way I want, but let me guide you through it and see if it makes sense. So to kick things off, the structure is going to start from and basically center on the staircase that goes from the first floor up to the second floor. As you can see, one way that I'm making each floor feel different is by giving them slightly different carpet colors. And in theory, this is going to somewhat match the general vibe that the floor is going to have. So we start from the staircase that goes to the second floor. We get the top piece on top of it, and then that's going to generate these two side pieces, of which there are a few variants, as well as a front and back piece, for which there are also a couple of variants. I'm hoping that by doing it this way, it's going to allow the actual substance of the mansion, where all the rooms are actually going to be, to behave more closely to the way that vanilla mansions generate, while still leaving room for me to expand upon it. Both metaphorically and physically, this allows for functionally 4 wings to generate from the mansion. So while the size isn't necessarily accurate, this is basically going to comprise the center of the mansion, and then 4 wings are going to branch out from it in each of the cardinal directions. Now these are all filled with jigsaw blocks, and each of them does something a little bit different. These two right here are going to have the potential to generate rooms, which is being designated by these basically empty boxes. And then these ones in the floor, these ones that are not quite up against the walls, and these ones in the ceiling here are going to generate some decorations inside of the hallways. One way that I want to improve and expand upon the vanilla Woodland Mansion is by making the hallways much more of a destination rather than just a thoroughfare between the rooms. And so the way to do that is to make these hallways much more dynamic and have interesting things inside of them. I've gone ahead and made the different decorations that'll appear on each of the floors ahead of time, but we may need to come back and modify a few of them. These slices are going to basically split up the hallways into a couple of different sections. Sometimes it's just going to be a couple of pillars that make a pseudo kind of archway. Sometimes you're going to have this nice little portcullis of iron bars to kind of block your progress. And sometimes you'll have just this little doorway, almost as if it is another room. But obviously the carpet still goes through it, so you can still tell that it's a hallway. These guys right here are what's going to generate on the edges, anywhere that isn't going to generate a room. We have 4 different kinds of paintings, a very nice looking plant just to add a little pop of color, a bit of a wine cabinet situation with these barrels that are going to be filled with potions, honey bottles, and ominous bottles. And then these curtains here are going to only generate on the second floor in front of the windows. And then lastly, we have these 3 structures that will appear at intersections or just other kind of central areas which generate from the ceiling. It's not going to look a whole lot like a mansion yet, but I do want to make sure that all of this is working before we move on. So let's head into a test world and see how that looks. Okay, good start. It is basically just a box, but at least it's generating. We don't have any exterior decoration yet, like I said, but we do have the interior decoration, so let's make sure that's all generating right. Coming in from the side on the first floor, we do have this nice intersection piece here, and then a couple of doorways that are separating this hallway. We have an edge piece over here, a dresser, as well as a suit of armor, which looks very nice. And then of course we have the staircase to the second floor, got a painting that's generating right. And then the second floor room is, yes, all one room, all generating right. That allows us to go into the second floor. We do have a couple of spots where the paintings obviously don't have any walls to sit on, so they've broken and fallen off. And of course, eventually one or both of these slots is going to have a doorway into a room. We just don't have any rooms built yet, so nothing's able to generate. So the concept is sound, things are generating correctly so far. I think it's time to allow this to expand outward into the various wings that will make up the actual meat of the mansion. I definitely got a little carried away with this part. So originally I was hoping that we'd be able to generate the hallways and then generate the rooms out from them, but I was realizing, especially with some of the designs of the connectors out from the starting section here, that it was going to cause some weird situations with regards to the sizes of rooms and where they could generate, and it was going to end up making the exterior way harder to control. Right now you'll see that all the exterior walls of these pieces have a bunch of jigsaws on them, and that's so that eventually we can generate some decorated walls on the outside here, rather than make it part of the structure. That's going to allow it to be much more dynamic and interesting, and just give us a little bit more control without having to recreate the same thing or edit the same structure multiple times over. Doing it this way, again, just allows me to create a much more curated experience to make sure that we're getting the rooms and hallways in the designs that I think are going to be most interesting. So to help with taking a look at some of these, I'm going to temporarily remove the pale oak that makes up these ceilings here. So this whole row here are the wings that are going to be able to generate from the front and back sections, which are 5 sectors wide, I guess. And then these 2 rows are the wings that are going to be able to generate from the sides of the starting structure, which are 4 sectors wide. Each sector is 9 by 9, which means the interior of the rooms is 7 by 7, exactly the same as the original Woodland Mansion. However, this also means that the hallways are just slightly wider than the original Woodland Mansion, but I don't think that'll really be a problem or something you can notice super easily because you'll have all these other decorations kind of filling it up. We have a variant of the 5 wide wing for each kind of connection to the center that the hallways can have. So this one has the connections on the far side of each. This one is just the one in the middle. And then this one has the 2 that are a little bit closer together, kind of surrounding the middle. And then we have 2 types of that. We also have 2 types of wing that will serve as the entrance to the structure. And similarly, we have 2 variants for if the entrance is on the side. There will be only 1 entrance per Woodland Mansion, so it'll be randomly selected between the front, back, left, or right side by using a different starting structure way over there behind me. And now taking a look at the layouts, I want to kind of explain how the rooms get generated, and in particular what the decorations are adding to the process, because they're kind of pulling double duty here. So lining the hallways, we have the jigsaw blocks that are going to have the potential to generate the entrance into the various rooms. So that means this room could have the entrance on this side, or this side. But obviously not on this side, there's no jigsaw block to generate that, there's no hallway there. But obviously, like I mentioned, we want the ability to have single, double, and quadruple room sizes. And so this system, in theory, should allow that to be possible. So let's say, for example, this jigsaw block gets selected first as being what's going to generate the entrance to a room. This area here has room for a quadruple size room or a double size room long ways, double size room sideways, or just a single room, as well as a double size room sideways this direction. Let's pretend it generates a double size room going sideways this way. That means this jigsaw block can no longer generate a room here. But what happens if this jigsaw block gets selected first and it wants to generate a double sideways room right here? It would intersect the hallway. And so that's what these hallway decorations are able to prevent from happening. They're always going to generate first, and so this jigsaw block is going to see there's already a jigsaw structure here blocking my way. I'm not able to generate a double side room there. I have to do it long ways, or it has to be a single room. And then same on this side, even though there's no intersection that could be like a chandelier or pillar or something on this side, there is this jigsaw block and this jigsaw block that are always for sure going to generate something that will kind of divide this hallway. And that is technically a structure in the way. Basically, all the decorations are going to generate, and then the rooms are going to try to generate anywhere that there aren't decorations. Now, one thing that I didn't point out while talking about the vanilla Woodland Mansion is the secret rooms. If you're not familiar, Woodland Mansions can have rooms connecting to the hallways, but they can also have rooms that aren't connected to hallways, that are blocked off, and you have to kind of know where to look or hear mobs hiding in them in order to find them, and they can often have pretty good treasure. This design also allows for secret rooms by having some extra jigsaw blocks in any of these kind of room sectors, room spaces that don't connect to the hallway. They're not always going to generate. They're going to generate after the regular rooms. So if this jigsaw block generates a double long room, it's going to cover this section, and so this jigsaw block can't make a secret room. But if it generates a single room or a sideways double-sized room, then this jigsaw block has a free space, and it's going to generate a secret room to fill it. That way, every corner of the Woodland Mansion is filled, and there is even more reason to explore and find those secret rooms because they could have some better treasure and loot inside, just like the Vanilla Mansion. We have more than doubled the volume and quantity of blocks that make up the Woodland Mansion, at least on the back end. So let's see now if things are still generating the way that we want. Okay, so we still have our central starting structure, and we can tell from the second floor that the decorations, both edge and hallway, are generating correctly. Nothing's changed there. Obviously, we now have these new blocks that are coming out from that. And already these four make the footprint of the new Woodland Mansion much larger than the original. This one happens to be our entrance, so let's go ahead and fly through here and see how things are looking. Obviously right now, since we still don't have rooms, a lot of these hallways are going to be a little bit more barren than they might otherwise look. We have edge decorations anywhere that rooms can't generate, but where the rooms could generate eventually is going to have, again, these nice archways that go into those rooms, so you'll be able to see into some of them as well. We can fly through this entrance wing. This does take us into the central wing, but a new player may not necessarily know that. We happen to have started at the front this time, so we can find the starting staircase relatively easily. But if, for example, the entrance was here on the side, then once you come through here, you may make a right here and come around this bend, go through this portcullis, and end up traveling through the back section of the mansion. We don't have a second floor yet, so it definitely doesn't look complete, and we also still need to build the walls. So let's go ahead and do that along with the rooms that are going to fill the first floor. By the way, if you're enjoying the video, please remember to like and subscribe. I make all kinds of content related to custom structures and world gen that I'm excited to share with you. And if you're excited to play with the Woodland Mansion update, please consider checking out my Patreon. This data pack will eventually be released to the public, but I want to make it available in early access for my patrons first to make sure that it is good to go. So here's what we're looking at for the wall, as well as the rooms. We have single rooms, double rooms, and quadruple rooms here, as well as the secret rooms. The double and quadruple rooms have a couple of different variants that are just replicas of each other, except the entrance is in a different spot. So for the quadruple, we have an entrance on the left and on the right, and for the double, we have an entrance on the left, the right, and for a few of them on the side so that it can be kind of long ways. When it comes to making each floor feel different, the first floor is going to be designed to be very militaristic, very combat focused. So this is where the Illager's barracks are going to be. There's going to be smithies, prisons, things like that. So we can take a look at something like this that might be a sort of training room with these punching bags here. Or this double wide barracks that has a bunch of bunk beds as well as some supplies to quickly ready for battle. Obviously, it's important that there is a prison for the allays here. That's an important feature of the Woodland Mansions and another reason that was added recently to travel here. And we also have this really cool crypt that has some chests underneath these black carpets. You may also have noticed some of these green sparkles here before. I had spawned them earlier, but they didn't do anything at the time. However, now that the rooms are done, I've gone ahead and added their behavior. These green sparkles are where markers are that are ultimately going to spawn the Illagers that will populate the mansion. I'm doing this because I want the mansion to be replayable, and so I need a way to be able to respawn the Illagers without them just spawning at all times, because that would make it just a little bit more overwhelming and less of an event to travel here and conquer the mansion. So the way it's going to work is when you get close to one of these markers, then it's going to have a chance to spawn an Illager type, and it'll vary by floor which types are available, as kind of like a surprise or sneak attack. They'll pop out at you, have about a second of resistance because it takes a second for their AI to catch up, and then they'll start to attack you and you can fight back. But once you've triggered one of these markers, kind of like a trap, it's not going to trigger again until the mansion gets reset. I haven't made it able to reset yet. That'll come after we know what the rewards are going to be on the third floor. The wall design is pretty straightforward. It's just a 9 wide sector, just like the interior, but it's only 1 block wide, and it's going to connect this jigsaw block to this jigsaw block all along the exterior of each of these structures. How did that get there? Lastly, I'll briefly talk about the secret rooms. Again, these are going to fill the gaps where regular rooms didn't happen to be able to spawn. We have the classic spider dungeon. This is based on the one that spawns in normal woodland mansions. And then we also have this awesome pale oak tree that's going to have a creaking heart inside of it. So at night, you're going to be able to find creaking wandering around the halls, which will actually kind of guide you towards the secret room, perhaps teach you that they exist. The vanilla Woodland Mansion has a secret room that looks like an end portal made of wool, which kind of alludes to and builds upon the Illager's lore of being kind of like a cargo cult. They can build things based on color, but they think that that's the most important part. They don't understand how to actually make it work. I've done the same thing here for my Woodland Mansion, but this end portal design is based on the end portals that appear in my custom biome strongholds. We have the end portal frame shape made of black wool to represent the bedrock that they're made of in that data pack, and the end portal frames, which are made of green wool with soul lanterns on top, are spread throughout the room. We even have this cool little design that looks like a trial spawner, and this jigsaw block is going to end up looking like blue wool. In the same kind of vein, I also made a version that has a nether portal as well as a nether fortress bridge on the other side for this double wide version. And then last thing before we test, just like how the walls are handled along the exterior, the entrance is going to generate from a jigsaw block on the exterior as well. This has been a pretty big step, so let's get things generating and make sure we're on the right track. Okay, looking good on the walls for sure. They're definitely lining the entire exterior. It's hard to say how nice they look because of course the mansion is very clearly unfinished. I think once we have the second floor, that should add a lot to the design, make it feel more complete. If we fly over here, we can see the entrance thanks to the fireplace smoke, so it makes it a little easier to see, and the front door now looks much nicer, much more part of the structure thanks to this exterior design, adding a little bit of depth to it. You walk in, you see these awesome doorways. Yeah, super cool. Let's walk in and test the spawn points. Beautiful. So we've got him popping out in surprise at us. Oh, I am not prepared. Can't fight me in creative mode. Okay, and now we can wander through and yes, get surprised a little bit more. Woo! We've got pillagers as well, not just vindicators. Oop, I'm getting ganged up on. And we can even try walking into a room and get surprised in here as well. These spawn points are great not only because it means you can replay the mansion once we implement the reset behavior, it also means you're going to just encounter more Illagers throughout the structure. And in fact, I've made it so that normal hostile mobs cannot spawn in the Woodland Mansions anymore, even though they could before. Something else I decided to add is the possibility for suits of armor to come to life to defend the mansion. I think that's just such a cool environmental effect. So if you think they're just decoration, you walk idly by them as though things are safe, you might end up getting surprised and have something coming up behind you. It feels very haunted, which feels appropriate for a mansion of this size. I want to fly through here a little bit and just get an idea of the sizes and frequency of rooms that we're seeing. We've got a lot of singles. This is single as well. What do we got over here? Okay, this is a double, so good there. Okay, finding plenty more doubles, but I don't think there's any quadruples in this mansion, at least on the first floor. Obviously, that's going to come down to the layouts that are selected, but I probably could do a little bit more to increase the frequency of those large rooms, since there's only a few places they can spawn anyway, and that way it's much more likely you'll encounter some, and in theory that shouldn't affect the real frequency of singles or doubles spawning either. There'll still be plenty of opportunities for those to spawn in different layouts or different parts of the same layout. So I think it's time to start designing the second floor wings, and that also means deciding what we want the mechanic of the second floor to be that separates it from the first floor. We can't just have a different colored carpet, there's gotta be something more going on. And I think it'd be really awesome if the second floor played much more like a stealth game. Say hello to the Eye of Skulking. This is a custom block that I'm going to place in various locations on the second floor of the mansion, and it's basically going to serve as the Illager's security system. Since clues within the game seem to suggest that the Illagers have been to the ancient city, I thought that it wasn't too far-fetched that they might have taken some skulk or echo shards or something with them when they left. And so these are going to be what they created with that stolen material. The Eye of Skulking looks stationary right now, but it's going to behave like a security camera. So if it sees a mob or a player that is not permitted in the mansion, it's going to stare at them, let them know that they are seen by emitting some particles, playing some sound effects, and going to start dealing some damage to them. It has a range of about 32 blocks, and it doesn't deal a ton of damage, so yeah, it was able to take that husk out, but the husk kind of got pushed pretty far first, so it's not unreasonable that a mob that it just got into range is going to get pushed out of it and potentially wander away. Importantly, of course, the Eye of Skulking does not target Illagers. Whether that's Pillagers, Vindicators, Evokers, it's going to completely ignore them and only target other mobs or the player. If I go into survival mode and I'm hiding behind this pillar, but as I sneak out behind, it's going to look at me and I can hear it, I can see that it sees me, but it's not going to immediately deal damage. I have about 3 seconds of being in continuous sight before it starts hurting me, and then it lets me get out of the way. So sneaking around the second floor is probably going to be hiding behind pillars like this, seeing where the Eyes of Skulking are, and then running over to another pillar or wall to kind of reset that cooldown. The eye turns to follow you, but resets to facing forward if it doesn't see anything, so we can hide behind here. And the coolest thing, they can be on ceilings as well. Ow. These serve not only as the mechanic that sets the second floor apart from the first, they also serve as a great reward for the player exploring the mansion. Right now, they're hostile towards me. They're going to be able to see me and deal damage to me, but if a player gets up to them in time and grabs them, then you can place them yourself, and now this Eye of Skulking belongs to me. It's still not going to target Illager since they're its original creators, but it is going to target other players that aren't me. Now this is pretty cool already, and I love how the visuals turned out of trying to avoid the Eyes of Skulking as they look directly at you. But just being dealt a little bit of damage, for one, isn't probably enough disincentive to try to avoid them, and for two, isn't particularly interesting as far as a deterrent goes. So in addition to the Eye of Skulking, I've also created the Skulk Roots. This is something else that the Illagers might have created with the Skulk that they stole from the ancient city, and on its own, it's mostly just kind of an environmental hazard. It's going to give you a little bit of darkness and slowness, but only when you're standing directly on top of it, and under normal circumstances won't deal you any damage. However, it's the relationship the Skulk Roots have with the Eye of Skulking that makes them really cool. If an Eye of Skulking does see a mob and has that continuous line of sight for 3 seconds, after those 3 seconds, it's going to teleport it to a random nearby Skulk Roots instead of dealing it damage. If there aren't any Skulk Roots, that's when it's going to deal damage to it. So we can have a couple of mobs here. It's going to target the nearest one only and start to teleport them behind directly onto the Skulk Roots, so they start to experience that darkness and slowness, and it kind of again serves as that environmental hazard. It's possible then that the Skulk Roots could be right in the middle of a trap of spawn points, and you could be completely unprepared to defend yourself against a small group of Vindicators or Pillagers or something. I'll try to keep that from getting too out of hand, but that's the theory anyway. So let's get back to the building world and get the Eyes of Skulking as well as the Skulk Roots implemented in the halls and rooms. Let's start with the new wings that have been built for the second floor. Let me just go ahead and remove these top sections. So each of these second floor layouts are identical to the first floor layouts that we already had and just have been modified to fit the second floor vibe. Like I mentioned at the beginning, we don't actually want the first and second floors to be identical in terms of layout. And so that's why the first and second floor wings generate independently thanks to the starting structure. It's going to be pretty uncommon for the same variant of the second floor to generate on top of that variant of the first. These sections right here that have these skulk veins, and more importantly, these glow particles, are where the Eyes of Skulking are going to spawn. The same is true for these sparkles right here. The skulk veins have just been removed because I replaced the ceiling with air. I'm going to use a processor to replace a random number of these skulk veins with air so it looks a little bit more organic around where the Eye of Skulking is placed, almost like it's growing onto the wall. You'll also notice that throughout these hallways there are no green sparkles. There aren't going to be any spawn points in the hallways. It's going to be completely dedicated to the Eyes of Skulking and trying to sneak around them. The spawn points will, however, be in the rooms where the Eyes of Skulking will not be. Just like before, these rows right here are the 4 wide, and then this row right here is for the 5 wide variants, with these last two being the variants that have the opportunity for the staircase to the second floor. The way that that works is very similar to a normal room type. These two jigsaw blocks that face into this room are going to spawn the staircase. One of them is going to spawn the staircase, and just like before, the other one is going to fail. But this room generates before the other rooms do, so that way these rooms aren't able to overwrite this spot first and accidentally make it so there is no staircase to the third floor. I have also gone ahead and designed the staircase room ahead of building the other second floor rooms. It is a single room instead of a double, unlike the original mansion, but this wasn't done for any particular reason other than wanting just more opportunities for my own rooms to generate. Before we move on to the third floor, I'm going to build those second floor rooms. Just like the first floor, we have single, double, and quadruple room sizes, and we have a couple of different variants that have the doorways in different spots. You'll also notice, especially looking from the back and the side, that these rooms have these pretty tall holes in them, and that's of course so that they can have openings to the windows that the second floor has. Coming back over to the second floor here, we have these windows that are pretty obvious. Some of them look directly into the hallway, and so they do just bring some natural light into the mansion, but these ones are right up against the interior walls of the particular room, but the windows themselves are in the exterior wall. What I've done to control for this is here on the interior of this room where a room could generate, we have these stairs on the top and bottom that create this nice little windowsill into the window that is revealed by this pocket of air. And then these gaps in the room are filled with structure voids, so they'll be ignored when the structure is saved, and therefore when the structure is loaded into the world. So if there is a window here, then it's going to fill in with that air and those stairs. And if there's not, then it will just be filled in with the regular wall that is placed there already as well. When it comes to the rooms themselves, while the first floor is geared more towards kind of combat with barracks and various supply caches for the Illagers to use, the second floor is more for more casual living. We have a room that the Illagers might use to dye wool or create banners. We do have an infirmary up here for any Illagers that are injured due to training or just warfare coming from the first floor. This resin farm room I think makes a lot of sense with the additions that the Pale Garden has had. It's not going to have any creaking hearts. This is where the Illagers are extracting resin from the pale oak trees, which might be what is causing the creaking to spawn. And then for large rooms, we of course have a map room where the Illagers are planning their future attacks, a greenhouse room where they're growing their dark oak saplings, and of course a very large, very cool library with tons of candles around. Once again, I'm going to use a processor to replace a random assortment of these candles with air, probably most of them, so that it isn't super lit. It's mostly just kind of eerie as you're walking through here. I've also made the wall design for the second floor, so this is what is going to generate on top of the first floor wall design, and then on top of that, we also have this roof structure. Now you might be thinking that these three pieces could all just be a single structure that is attached to the very top of the second floor, or indeed the first floor. There shouldn't be any real harm in it. I'll explain why I've separated them into three pieces like this in the test world. Oh yeah, that is looking a lot more like a mansion. The third floor is ultimately going to add a lot of shape to the top, but as far as viewing it from the bottom like this, I think this looks fantastic. Looks like we did get pretty lucky and get the staircase to the third floor on the same wing that the entrance is. I don't think that's specifically something I'm going to make impossible, because you're still going to have to check if that is the case. It's not like you're going to happen upon it, especially because the way I designed the wings for the second floor, you do kind of have to go all the way to the very back end in order to find the entrance into the staircase room. But let's come back through the entrance here and get to that staircase to the second floor, because I do want to kind of experience that as intended the first time. So we come on through, got a suit of armor blocking the way, and then when we get up to the second floor landing, I'm going to switch to survival mode, and we'll be able to see I've designed this room to be kind of the introduction to the Eye of Skulking. So there's one directly up there, get out of sight before it sees me. And so this should be really the first time that you can encounter it in a very safe location. Beyond the suit of armor and the mob that could spawn right in front there, there's no other spawn points, no suits of armor can spawn in here. It's just you and the eye and these three pillars that are always here. So that way, if it is your first time encountering the Eye of Skulking, you can kind of learn about it organically, but in a controlled environment. Obviously, if you're just walking up the stairs and do this, you might hear the sounds, you might even see the Eye of Skulking, but you're probably gonna get caught before it's able to stop you. And then as for the skulk routes, I've placed these in various rooms on the first floor. So if you get up to the first floor and you get caught by an Eye of Skulking, your only penalty, in theory, is getting teleported back to the first floor. You'll have to find your way back to that staircase again. Like I mentioned, it is possible for a spawn point to be in the same room as a skulk routes that you get teleported to, so you could get kind of jumped as you get in there. We got lucky here, and the spawn point that's in here decided not to go off. But if we find a different room, such as the Ravager Den, this is a much more precarious position to get teleported into. Now, when it comes to spawn points on the second floor, there is going to be a pretty small chance for illusioners to spawn, as well as witches, in addition to pillagers and vindicators. Let's really quickly try to make an actual effort to sneak around the second floor here. So I'm going to run over behind this pillar to avoid this Eye of Skulking. It can see me here, so I'm going to need to sprint under that archway and hope there isn't an eye immediately there. Come around here. Okay, we've got an eye over there. Oh, and there. Oh gosh. Okay, come around here. All right, safe. So there's an eye at the end of the hall over there. I can hide kind of behind this banner here. And then there's also an eye over there that we'll have to be cautious of. Let's go this way. There's an eye right there. I can get behind this pillar here. Oh, that suit of armor decided to wake up. I'm not sure if I'm able to reach that eye. No, not quite. Obviously, if we were seriously testing, I'd probably have some blocks and could pillar up there, but this is just a brief experiment. Run through here. Okay, doing okay. Oh, it can see through iron bars, so you'll have to be careful about that as well. I do see a suit of armor over there we'll have to be aware of. I don't think there's any way to avoid it, though. Come through here. Oh, okay, all right. And now I'm trapped. Yep. That was pretty good. I think that was a really, really fun experience. Even getting caught didn't feel unwarranted, and it was really silly. A more prepared player would absolutely be able to take care of those Eyes of Skulking, either by pillaring, building some walls, or obviously just be in a position where they could fight those suits of armor a little better too. Before we call the first and second floor complete, I'll draw specific attention to this right here. This is the reason that the wall pieces are separated instead of all one structure. On the first and second floor, these exterior walls are only a single block deep, and that's specifically to help handle these interior corners. Because a jigsaw piece cannot intersect the bounding boxes of a different jigsaw piece, if both of these were the same length, this piece would fail to spawn. So I have a wall variant that is the normal full length, and then I have a variant that is 1 block less long. But because the roof piece is 2 blocks deep to allow this little bit of a lip over the wall, it needs to be separate from the walls of the first and second floor because it needs some additional pieces of different lengths to help handle these interior corners. And so you see that's exactly what happened here. This is a full 9 long piece, and this one is only, I think, 6 blocks long. And in fact, the vanilla Woodland Mansion does this exact same thing. And so even if it isn't completely clean cut, everything on the first and second floor is working exactly as expected. So it's time to start working on the third floor. My third floor is going to be much larger than the third floor of the original Woodland Mansion. These 2 pieces here are what's going to generate on top of the wing that has the staircase from the second floor to the third. We have a variant where the staircase lets you in on the left side, and a variant where the staircase is on the right. This is the part that's ultimately going to face outward over the wing of the mansion beyond the walls, and so we have this beautiful wall design that really draws the eye towards these huge eyeball windows. And then we also have ominous banners all along the exterior wall here. The room you start in is going to have the spiral staircase up here, and then regardless of which direction it's facing, you'll be able to get up and walk or jump over to the other side to access the rest of the third floor. Though there will be some edge decorations over in this little cubby here. We have our typical decoration jigsaw blocks, and then this jigsaw block is going to generate the very long room that is ultimately going to be one of several rooms which will have the rewards. This is going to be the main reason that you are traveling to the Woodland Mansion. Not just for Totems of Undying, but for the rooms that are in here and the treasure that you can get inside. This piece that generates is then going to generate the centerpiece that will be on top of the middle of the mansion. So it's going to be a lot less dynamic with regards to its shape and location on the roof of the mansion than the vanilla one is, but it allows again for that much more curated experience. Specifically, you're always going to enter from the back right here. You have this big circular hallway that's going to connect you to other wings of the 3rd floor, but as you make your way around, you'll find these huge double doors that take you into this courtyard. All the jigsaw blocks in the ground here are set to generate a template pool that will then generate a feature. This can include grass, flowers, or the new firefly bushes. And we also have some chests in here that will serve as additional loot for this sort of boss room, because this is the room where you're going to get the Totem of Undying. I want the experience of getting the Totem of Undying to be a real event, a real boss moment. And so my thinking is that instead of the evokers just dropping it, they're going to be in this room kind of like they're summoning it or creating it, and you're going to basically interrupt them. You'll have to face a small gauntlet of 3 or 4 evokers, and then after you defeat them all, the totem will be completed and dropped for you to collect. So to handle that, I have this little marker right here. These glowing particles represent the kind of master switch that's going to control this whole boss event. When the mansion is activated, it's going to spawn the evokers and then spawn the Totem of Undying item display up here. Once the player gets close, then one at a time, each evoker is going to become active, become hostile, and start to attack you. Once you kill them all, that master entity is going to check and see, hey, there's no more evokers left, time to drop the reward. This is also going to tie into the reset mechanic for the mansion. When you enter the mansion, it's going to make all those spawn points able to spawn mobs, summon the armor stand, summon the Eyes of Skulking, and it's also going to set up these boss rooms and summon the rewards. Once all the rewards have been collected, then the mansion goes into cooldown. Just like a trial spawner will reset after 1 hour so it can be activated again, the entire mansion will reset after 3 hours, after the rewards have been collected. And then the entire thing can be done again. And I did say rewards plural, in addition to the room that's in that starting wing that you come up to the 3rd floor from, and the courtyard here, there's also going to be 3 more wings that can be 2 or 1 wide that will have the other boss rooms for the new custom rewards. So let's design some of those reward items and build the boss rooms that they are going to be collected inside of. The first custom that I've made is the Potion of Gigantism. It is a drinkable potion. You can drink it like this, and when you drink it fully, then it's going to turn you gigantic. While you are giant, you do move a little slower, but you have jump boost, and you also have increased health and attack damage. Of course, you'll need to eat some food or something after drinking the potion to regain all the way up to that full 20 max hearts. And if you drink a bucket of milk, then you will just go back to normal. You'll be able to find the Potion of Gigantism inside this ominous brewery boss room. All the boss rooms are going to be really long and have a little bit of carpet that stretches into them, as well as a couple of spawn points near the front and possibly near the back if there's loot there. We have the boss marker entity that controls the room right here, and so when the room is active, there will be a witch up on each of these balconies, as well as in front of each of these shelving units. And they will be creating or summoning the Potion of Gigantism above this giant copper pot. Pretty much exactly like the way that the Totem of Undying is handled in the courtyard. The effect lasts 6 minutes, but it's a one-time use, so you'll need to return to the mansion if you want to acquire more of them. This room right here is the Enchantry. We have a beautiful enchanting table set up with tons of these awesome bookshelves. These banners I think are really cool and allude to the fact that this room is going to be guarded by 4 illusioners. And the thing that they are guarding is the invisibility cloak. The invisibility cloak is basically meant to make you act like an illusioner. They turn invisible when they project their mirror entities around them to kind of hide them and distract you. The invisibility cloak also turns you invisible while you're wearing it. The other cool thing about the invisibility cloak is it will make you able to hide from the Eye of Skulking. As long as you're not wearing any other armor besides the invisibility cloak, which is in your chestplate slot, and you're not holding any items, the Eye of Skulking won't be able to see you, so you'll be able to sneak around the 2nd and 3rd floor safely. So this item will be especially useful not only for just general invisibility purposes, but make it a little bit easier to conquer future mansion runs. Of course, as you can see, it also loses durability over time as you're wearing it, so you'll need to kind of re-up on it and get new invisibility cloaks by doing the mansion again if you want more. This room is the Cursed Throne, and it's going to have a fearsome crown. There will be 4 evokers guarding this one, just like in the courtyard, and they're going to be up on these podiums here with these soul campfires. While you're wearing it, the fearsome crown is going to emit some soulfire flame particles around you, and it's going to increase your attack speed, the toughness of your armor, and it provides a little bit of armor itself, and it's also going to give you 2.5 times the experience you would normally get from mobs. This is going to be really useful to extract even more value from the rest of the mansion after you've acquired all the rewards. If there's any rooms that you haven't fully explored, then you can get some extra experience from those spawn points. The last custom item is this Axe of Despair, and it's going to be obtained in this Soul Foundry room. It's going to have 4 Vindicators around it on the seats, summoning it or creating it, and I think I'm going to make these Vindicators look like they're wielding Axes of Despair as well. Although it's not going to be a real Axe of Despair because this item's actually pretty powerful. It is an axe weapon that deals 11 damage, which is already pretty powerful, and it has the Despair enchantment, which means that it's going to give hit mobs poison, and when you kill a mob, it's going to heal you by a pretty good amount. This is going to be a great reward to acquire first if this reward room happens to be one of the chosen ones, because it'll be really useful for fighting especially evokers in later rooms. So with all the boss rooms designed and the items created, let's go ahead and test the entire 3rd floor and see how one of these boss rooms goes. Well, from the outside, I think this looks fantastic. The 3rd floor adds an incredible additional shapeliness to the mansion and makes it feel that much more weighty. When you look at it head on, especially, the way that these windows are framed really makes them feel like there's something extra special up there that's just waiting to be captured. Let's start from the staircase to the 3rd floor and walk through here and see what it kind of looks like here. I do have some Eyes of Skulking spawning up here, so again, this is really the culmination of everything you've learned as you have explored the mansion. Stepping directly into the center room, you obviously get this beautiful view of the Totem of Undying. You can kind of see and get glimpses of the ritual going on inside, but if you want to break through the windows, you can, of course, or you can see that there is an open door back there. I've given myself some standard equipment that I expect players are going to have at this point, so let's try out the boss mechanic and make sure that the whole room is working correctly. So you'll enter the room, nothing's going to happen at first, but then the evokers one at a time are going to wake up. Let's take care of these Vexes. Oh, one of the other evokers has woken up. Okay, I see him over there. I'm going to try and take him out before he summons even more. Oh, of course. All right. Okay, he's good. Oh, a pillager has walked in. Get out of here, dude. Oh, another evoker is awake. Oh, okay. Get him taken out. Great. And then last evoker. Okay, last evoker is awake. Let's take him out, and then we can take care of his Vexes. Beautiful. That wasn't too bad. And then we just gotta wait. The totem drops. Let's get that equipped while we take care of these guys. I don't think we really need the totem right now. Let's focus on survival of these Vexes and the pillager. Okay, well that wasn't too bad. Obviously, evokers are still a pseudo-boss mob, and the Vexes in particular are very strong, so fighting so many in a row could become overwhelming. But I'm not using any enchanted armor, so I expect that players are going to be generally better prepared than I was. I just got some basic stuff. Let's try checking out some of the other rooms and see if we can take it on, especially now that we have the Totem of Undying. Now this room is empty. Not all the boss rooms are going to be active every time you visit the mansion. The courtyard will always be active, so there will always be evokers and a Totem of Undying to acquire there. And then each time the mansion becomes active, it's going to select 2 other boss rooms to become active and have a reward as well as the boss mobs to fight inside of it. You'll still be able to get the loot from inside, so all the spawn points that are in here will still do their job to guard and protect it. But you'll have to visit the mansion again and hope that this room is one of the ones selected if you were hoping to acquire a fearsome crown. This is going to be important for when we add an ominous event later, so keep this in mind. Okay, this Soul Foundry is active, so we can get an Axe of Despair. I think this is a room that I'm for sure going to want the totem instead of a shield because the axes will disable my shield. Let's get into survival and get ready to fight. We got a witch to protect it first. Oh, poison, of course. Okay, that one's woken up. He's coming for us. He has an Axe of Despair, but it's just a retextured diamond axe. Second one is awake. Not too bad. There we go. And we get our Axe of Despair. Definitely way easier than the Courtyard, which I think is fine because this is sort of an auxiliary reward. The Axe of Despair is quite powerful, but it also only has the durability of an iron axe, so even though it is very strong, it's not going to last forever, again, just to further incentivize coming back to the mansion and replaying it. And it looks like lastly we have the Ominous Brewery with the witches creating the Potion of Gigantism, and there's an Illusioner here as well that spawned from one of the spawn points, so we can try fighting that too. Alright, Mr. Illusioner, take you out with the axe. Oh, nice. Okay, great. And we got healed a little bit, which is awesome. Okay, that one's woken up. She's drinking some potions. Good. The witches aren't too bad if you can get some early damage in because they're going to prioritize healing themselves over fighting you. Oh, that one did throw a splash potion of poison though, so that's cool. But we get our Potion of Gigantism, which isn't exceedingly strong. It's probably the weakest of the rewards, but still pretty powerful because, again, you can use it to help conquer the mansion by having just an easier time fighting off some of these mobs or even surviving them if they're dealing too much damage since you have double health. And now that all the rewards have been obtained from this mansion, it is on cooldown. So all the spawn points still work, the Eyes of Skulking still spawn, everything like that, but they're not going to reset it all, and neither are the rewards until 3 hours have passed. With all that seeming to work pretty well, I think it's time to implement the Ominous Mansion behavior. Currently, the mansion sets itself up the first time a player in survival steps foot inside of it. That's when it activates the spawn points, summons the Eyes of Skulking, and chooses the rewards to spawn. However, if a player steps foot inside the mansion for the first time while they have Bad Omen, or even if they get Bad Omen while they're already inside the mansion, then it's going to become an Ominous Mansion. This is going to fully reset everything. All of the spawn points will be able to summon another mob, all of the Eyes of Skulking that you've removed will be respawned, as well as the Skulk Roots, and most importantly, any boss rooms that weren't already active will become active. As well, all of the active boss rooms will be made ominous. So normally you can only get 2 rewards plus the Totem of Undying from a mansion, but if you make it ominous, it makes you able to obtain all of the rewards. So, that extra reward for the extra challenge involved. So when it comes to what that challenge actually is, let's run through the list. Editing Cano here. What I'm about to describe to you are all of the ways that I've made the Woodland Mansion harder during ominous events, but as you're going to see in the playtest, I probably overtuned it quite a bit. So stick around after the playtest to see my thoughts on how that went and what I'm going to do to change it to make the Ominous Mansion still a challenge without being so completely overwhelming. First off, all Illagers that are spawned in the mansion will have 50% more health and also be a little bit bigger, mostly just so they look more intimidating. In addition, Vindicators are going to wield diamond axes and Pillagers are going to shoot spectral arrows. Potions that are thrown by witches are going to be lingering potions instead of just regular splash potions. And Illusioners and Evokers will have a Totem of Undying. For those two, it's not really going to make them much more difficult, but it is going to increase that intimidation factor. It technically is only going to give them like a little bit more health just because of the way the Totem of Undying works. But the extra effects of it popping is going to be just super cool. However, just making the Illagers themselves harder isn't quite enough to make it really feel like the entire mansion has become ominous. So when it comes to environmental factors, the Eyes of Skulking are going to deal just a little bit of damage every so often while they're looking at you, even before that 3-second mark. And the Skulk Roots are going to have a larger radius of effect and also deal, again, just a little bit of damage every so often, really only like 1 or 2. These suits of armor that spawn inside of the hallways are going to come to life a little bit more often. Spawn points generally are going to spawn mobs more often. Normally there's only about a 66% chance that they'll spawn, but with an Ominous Mansion it's going to be 75%. The chandelier and this banner lantern thing are going to have little spawn points here that during Ominous Mansions are going to spawn ominous item spawners. These are the things that trial spawners use to spawn splash potions and fireballs and things during ominous trials, and they're technically a separate entity, so I can summon them independently of a trial spawner. And then lastly, every 3 minutes or so, a random player is going to get attacked by just a single Vex. I think all of this together is going to make the Ominous Mansion feel very tense and very high energy, chaotic, and dangerous to really justify the fact that you can get so many rewards from the 3rd floor once you get there. With the mansion structure complete, the boss rooms built, and the ominous event implemented, I think it's finally time to playtest the Ominous Mansion. And to help with that, I've invited my friend Whimzee onto my server so that we can both try to conquer it together in survival mode. All right, welcome Whimzee. Thank you for joining today.
Thanks for having me.
So, what would you say you know about the Woodland Mansion?
It's filled with ghosts and things that want to kill me.
Well, I don't know about ghosts, at least not normally, but I hope that this one will expand your horizons of what a mansion can be.
Okay, can we go inside? It looks awesome.
Absolutely, but we should gear up first.
Okay.
We've got some chests outside for us to get armor and weapons and things.
Okay, I'm ready. You want to lead the way, or am I gonna have to do it?
No, you're in charge.
Oh no.
Oh, that's good. This guy gave us an easy start.
Yeah, it's the welcoming committee.
There we go.
You killed the butler for no reason.
Oh, behind you!
Where is I don't see him. Oh, you saved my entire life. Okay, the loot's pretty good. Is this the default loot table, or did you buff it?
No, we've got all new loot here.
Heck yeah. Okay, this is cool. This looks like a puzzle. Oh my god, I'm gonna die. Why are they so strong? It's the axe guys.
Yes,
they're
the
OP.
axe is such a huge buff.
Okay, let's keep moving. I don't like this room. I like how these guys spawn. It's very different. I'm gonna die.
Ah!
I'm 1 heart.
Oh gosh. No, don't chase him. Chase me. Okay.
Oh. I'm still on the first floor. I hope this is the hardest level.
Right.
Yeah. What the heck? Yeah. I should have known. Of course, it's gonna be a ghost.
You mentioned ghosts. That's on you.
I mentioned exactly.
So far,
okay.
Not too keeping it nice and quiet.
Yeah, not too many people.
Never mind.
Okay, they seem to be trained on you. That's your problem. Wow, look at all this loot.
Just abandoning me?
Ooh. I don't know what these hanging wool things are. Oh no, I died immediately.
First death.
Okay, first death. All right, we'll just cut that out, and no one will know. I know that thing's haunted. I'm just going to ignore it. I'm running deeper into the mansion. Oh, whoa! I got teleported back.
I'm coming to find you.
Oh, okay. Oh,
I'm coming.
Oh, hurry up! It's getting bad. It's getting bad.
Stop running.
Satan, help! Anyone that's listening, help! Oh. Okay. I won't do that again. I see your name tag. I'm coming to you.
Okay, good. I think I just took care of them all.
Okay.
Oh, one more. 2 more.
They're going bananas, spawning everywhere. There's so many.
Oh, okay. Yep. That's too many.
Oh no. Oh my god.
Gotta use the gates to our advantage.
Okay, I am going to aggro as many of these people as possible.
That's what happened last time.
and then I'm gonna fall back. Okay. Or you can handle them even better.
More. Nice.
Okay, what is this room? It teleported me last time and it killed me.
So the room didn't kill you. There was just a Vindicator in here, or a Pillager, or whatever. I don't know. Maybe you should break this thing.
Okay. Oh, that wasn't so bad. I am ready to go to the next level in the mansion. Oh, there's a lot of ominous bottles. And they stack too. Let's go. Okay, I'm liking the loot. Very good stuff. I love chainmail legs, like letting my legs breathe.
Well, if you're wanting to go to the second floor. Oh gosh. Okay.
Whoa, there's so many people. What the heck?
Oh no.
Oh no. No.
I
tried middle clicking to get the blocks and I had the wrong type of wood. The mansion's looking really cool, dude. This is amazing. Great changes.
All right. So
okay.
you triggered it a little quick last time. You want to be careful up here.
All right. Should I sneak? Is there like a? Oh yeah. I see the thing.
Boop.
Oh no, was that a security camera?
Yep.
What? Get out of here, dude. He teleports me to the loot. It's pretty nice. So what if I drink this evil juice?
Oh.
Oh no.
Oh gosh. Oh no.
Oh, big mistake, big mistake. Help, 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 help. I'm gonna die. Oh.
Oh.
Oh, why did I drink the juice? Why didn't you stop me? Okay, I'm gonna aggro all of them and then draw them to the beginning. Okay, and then you're gonna block off the entrance, and then you're gonna collect all the XP. You ready? Block them off!
We don't need to. The carpets stop them. They're too big.
Whew. Okay, if they're gonna play dirty, I think I'll break the rules as well. Oh god. Oh no.
And there's the risky run.
Oh my god, the views. What do you think the rent in this place is like?
You don't think they've got their mortgage paid off yet?
Maybe they do. Uh-oh. What? They put me in a cage! Oh, this is evil. Oh my god. This was not what I signed up for. Oh, it's just like the movie! I think. I haven't seen the movie, actually. I'm not a real Minecraft YouTuber. Chicken jockey. Oh, he's dropping potions. Is that the pillager or is that the mansion?
The mansion.
Oh.
All right, so here's the plan. So the cameras, they teleport you to one of these skulk routes. So if we place one down, hopefully it'll teleport us here.
Okay, here's the plan. You distract the camera, and then I'm going to shoot out the lens.
All right.
Oh no.
I forgot the camera does that. Ah. That's okay, the path here is clear.
It's like Fort Knox.
True.
What are they hiding? How much health do these people have? This is crazy. He's taking like 16 arrows.
Oh yeah, they've got a ton.
Okay, see, I thought I was like, do I just suck at Minecraft? And maybe the answer is yes. But also, these guys are tougher than they look.
So yes, we want to aim for the camera. Oh, hello, Vex.
Okay. Shoot out the camera.
Oh.
Oh. Oh, I think it's dead. Yeah.
Oh, the camera's already gone? Nice.
Okay.
All right, so let's see. What do we got around the corner here? There's one on the ceiling in that room.
Oh, it got me. It got me. Can it corrupt? This is bad. This is real bad. No.
Did you set your spawn?
Oh.
Perfect. Okay. Okay, so we probably want to come around the corner and try and hide behind that wall over there. And then we can get close enough, hopefully, to shoot around the corner at the eye.
Okay. Oh, 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, there's a bunch. Okay.
Oh, I got it. I got it.
There's one over there. Okay, good. Oh, there's an armor behind you.
Wait, I see some blue stuff. Oh, I thought that was you. Oh, no. It tricked me.
Okay. Whew, there we go. All right, there's one on the ceiling over here. Got it.
Nice. Oh, I see another one. I got it.
Nice.
Oh, okay. We're getting the hang of this.
What's your opinion on stealth games?
I haven't played too many of them, but they seem fun.
All right, there's got to be an eye in here. Where is it? Oh, I see it. Okay.
Oh.
Not quite. Oop. Oh, there's one around the corner here too.
Oh, I think I got it.
Okay. Nice. Got that one.
Uh-oh. Oh,
Oh,
the
illusioner.
illusioner? What? I didn't think he was in the game. He's instant transmissioning away. Whoa, there's more. I've never actually fought one of these. Which is the real one? Not him?
Neither. Oh. It's kind of in the middle of them.
Oh, okay. Oh, you found him. You found him.
Whew. Ooh, good eye.
Oh, this is so good. Oh, look at that. I am breathing right now. I've learned. We gotta crouch around the corners, look for cameras.
Oh, right behind.
Oh, it was right above us. I was not prepared. Oh, no
I'm in a jail cell.
No, I have a heart.
Oh.
No.
Oh, a pillager.
You know, Kanakarab, you've killed me. You've killed me many times. I think I might have to make a data pack that's 10 times harder and kill you in revenge.
Yeah, I think I deserve it at this point.
Oh.
Hello,
Whoa, there's a bunch
pillager.
of spiders in the wall.
I see you on the second floor. I'm making my way there.
Oh, easy money.
Camera probably outside this room. Oh, and a Vindicator. Hello. Oh, watch out for the camera.
Oh, okay.
Ooh. Okay. Oh, I missed. Nice.
I got it. Tell me this next level is easier, please.
Leaving your mark?
Leaving my mark. This is my
Ooh,
mansion
some
now.
bottles.
I've learned the suit of armor is not to be trusted.
Nice. Okay, I see a camera right inside of there.
Me.
It's behind the chandelier, so it's hard to hit. Ow.
Oh, yeah, I see it. Oh, I got it. I mined a hole in
Nice.
the wall. Oh, back up. There's an illusioner.
Oop.
No way, they're cheating. I don't believe it for 1 second. Get out of here.
Nice.
Oh, I got him.
All right, let's take it slow.
I need to drink more of that ominous juice. Oh, God, what was that? Oh, I don't like the look of that. They're definitely doing some kind of eldritch ritual in there. Honestly, I feel like we should respect their religion. Who are we to judge? I think I'm gonna dig him into a hole. Nope, they're levitating. That's satanic for sure.
Oh, one of them woke
really... Oh, no. Oh, we got this. They don't stand a chance.
Vexes.
Wow, this room's amazing.
Oh, another one woke up. Get the Vexes. Ow.
There's a witch too. Uh-oh. Oh, no. The Vexes are...
They're the real
strong.
hard part, yeah.
Yeah, no kidding. Oh my god, fall back. No, mistake. What is this room? Oh my god, abort. See, it's not so bad. It's not so bad when they're contained like this.
Oh.
Why did I drink that potion? Why did you tempt me so?
I think all the Vexes are dead. Let's get rid of this guy. Vexes are back. Okay, he's down.
Oh, they even have swords too. That's evil.
That's how they normally come. Isn't that crazy? They're so strong.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I'm being poisoned. Oh, gosh.
Oh, I see her. Get out of here. The only witches I like are sandwiches. Cut that. Terrible.
Okay. Oh, all right. Last one's awake.
Okay. Oh, the witch is melting me. I'm poisoned and I have regen and it all evens out.
That's the dream.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I see the other evoker. He's trying to hide. There's no hiding. Okay. Oh.
Totem of Undying acquired. Oh, gosh.
Oh my god, all that for one Totem of Undying? I've died 1,000,000 times.
All right. Well, there's lots more rewards up here. What do you say we do one more room?
Okay, I'm ready. I'm dying to see what's in this room. The suspense is killing me. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Are there two here? Oh, my goodness.
There's about to be 0 here. Oh, I popped my totem. Look at that smug look on their faces. I can't find the real one.
I know. I don't know where he is. Oh, he's nearby here, I think. Oh.
Uh-oh. Is that not the real one?
Oh, I'm coming.
Fall back. It's really bad in there.
Nice.
Oh, we almost got him.
Okay, he's focusing on me, so you can, yeah.
Oh, I got him.
Nice.
Let's go. We did it. Oh my god, what is that thing? Invisibility cloak? Dude, no way.
Try putting it on.
This is amazing. Oh, you just see all these arrows. Wow. Kanakarab, you have outdone yourself. 10 out of 10 data pack. This is truly amazing.
I hope the loot will be worth it. Perhaps for somebody better prepared than we were.
Yeah, dude, all these deaths were absolutely worth it for the invisibility cloak.
Oh, good. Thank you for joining me, Whimzee. I hope this was a good time. I think this has been really valuable playtesting.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This was incredible. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. So that playtest did not go quite the way I expected. It was definitely a lot of fun, and Whimzee said that he had a lot of fun as well. There are a lot of things that I thought worked really well, but other things, especially with regards to the ominous mansion, that were just not the experience that I was going for. I think first off, having these spawn points in the boss rooms really distracted from the boss room themselves and made them far more difficult than they needed to be. I'm going to go ahead and kill these, and then we're going to actually move them probably here and here-ish, and change the behavior of these particular spawn points so that they will only spawn mobs if this boss room isn't active. That way there are still mobs to guard the normal loot that's in here, in these chests and stuff, but if it's a normal boss room, then you'll just have to contend with the boss mobs themselves. There also probably are just too many spawn points on the 3rd floor period, so we're going to get rid of all of these ones. We'll keep the ones that are in the central hallway here because that's where a lot of the challenge is going to come in as you travel from boss room to boss room. But the boss rooms themselves, again, should really just be focused on the bosses. The other difficulty came from the Vexes in particular. Evokers individually are not terribly challenging to deal with. I think they're a really appropriate difficulty level. But when you're fighting multiple Evokers in a row, the Vexes that they leave behind really stack up. So I'm going to make it so that when each Evoker wakes up, it's going to kill all of the already existing Vexes. So you'll only have to deal with that particular Evoker's Vexes each time you fight it. The Vexes that the final Evoker spawns will stick around after the reward drops, so you'll still need to deal with those fully as well. And this same behavior is true of the Cursed Throne, not just the Courtyard. Additionally, I thought it made sense that in an ominous mansion, in addition to the Illagers being stronger, the spawn points would spawn mobs more frequently, but this turned out to be a pretty bad idea, I think. Fighting Vindicators is already difficult enough, and when you have to fight 12% more of them and they're stronger, that just becomes really overwhelming really quickly. So instead, during ominous mansions, the mobs are still going to be stronger, but they're only going to spawn about half the time instead of 66% of the time. I also realized that I've made a mistake in my code. Instead of the Illagers having a 50% health increase, they had a 150% health increase. So they were just taking way too long to deal with. So that's been fixed, but I am still going to make it so the spawn points spawn mobs less often, since their other things that made the Illagers more powerful still apply. I've also redone some of the weights for the Illagers that can spawn, both during normal mansions and ominous mansions, so Illusioners, Witches, and Evokers should spawn just a little bit less often than they were. I am a little disappointed that this change is necessary because I do think it's kind of boring to fight only Vindicators and Pillagers, but hopefully it's just going to make fighting those Illusioners and Witches and Evokers throughout the mansion a little bit more interesting. And then the final change is based on a comment that Whimzee made that we had gone through all that work for only a single Totem of Undying. So I'm modifying the Courtyard very slightly. It's going to drop a single Totem of Undying per player that is nearby. This will hopefully also just help encourage multiple players to tackle the mansion together, rather than trying to solo it, because in theory you do get more Totems of Undying in total. Even if you do have to share them, it's just much more economical than needing to do them one at a time. Now, all of the other custom rewards, like the Invisibility Cloak, are still only going to drop a single time per room, and that's because they can appear more often per mansion. You could technically have 2 or 3 Enchantries or 2 and 3 Cursed Thrones, and so you could get several of those respective items. Unlike the Totem of Undying, which is locked to just the single Courtyard. I think all these changes are going to make ominous mansions in particular much more fun, though I am pretty happy with the difficulty that the regular Woodland Mansion seems to have. I did, however, rebalance the loot after that playtest because I didn't feel like we were getting enough valuable stuff, again, for the difficulty that we were going through. Maybe I've gone too far, you'll have to let me know. If you want to playtest the Woodland Mansion update ahead of its public release, please consider joining my Patreon. It will be available for Wizard tier patrons and higher. And please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching!